What's up everybody, Zach with Dogtown Barbell Club, and we are back this week breaking down the movement, the snatch balance. Snatch balance will be seen in our line movement programming this week, as well as we regularly do a form of the snatch balance here in Dogtown. And so we want to come to you to break down this movement to get you prepared for it in the gym. If you're not familiar with the snatch balance, for me, it's a love-hate relationship. As a coach, I love to add the snatch balance to our programming because it's a great tool to teach athletes how to pull under a bar, how to extend and lock the bar out overhead and keep that tension as they're pulling into the bottom of the movement. Snatch balance is a great tool. As an athlete, I hate it. It's extremely tough for me with worse than average, if you will, overhead strength when it comes to locking these bars out. And so pushing that bar out, locking that bar out, finishing in the squat, it's a tough movement for me. So when we think about the snatch balance, one thing we kind of want to look at as far as like what should our ability be with this movement. So the snatch balance on the typical recommended or expected chart of strength is somewhere around 105, 110% of our snatch max. That does fluctuate some, like I said, depending on overhead strength and ability, as all of our movements do in weightlifting. Unfortunately for you, today, you get to watch me talk to you and you get to watch me do the movement, as I had to get this in as we were kind of wrapping up the gym the other night. I didn't want to hold anybody else up, so I'll let them get out of here. But we're gonna break down the snatch balance, and the heaving snatch balance. So there's a key difference here. First, we're gonna talk about the straight snatch balance. What that looks like, you're gonna lock the bar up, pressing it towards the sky, not lifting it off your shoulders, just locking that bar up so that it doesn't fall. And then we're going to descend and lock under the bar. For the heaving snatch balance, the only thing we're adding is a little bit of help with our hips. So we're gonna dip, drive and extend, and sit under the bar. Timing that up for hip extension, locking that bar up, sitting down in a squat, and finishing up our snatch balance. So let's get into it. We're gonna kick it off in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So if you see here, I'm setting up, bars locked. See how I've engaged my lats, not let it crash on me, drop to the bottom, locking those arms out, sitting in that overhead squat, that finished position for our snatch, same as the snatch balance. So those were strict. Now look here, I'm going into heaving. My knees are bent, I'm extending my hips, same deal. Lock, punch, and sit. You're gonna hear me say that a lot probably in this video. Hinge, lock, punch, sit. I'm not letting that bar bounce at all. I'm fighting it up, pressing it towards the ceiling, keeping it locked out the entire time. Don't want to let our elbows give at all. We'll see here. See how they're straight, locked out. I'm not allowing that bar to control me. I'm not allowing it to push me forward and back. I'm keeping my arms tight and taut throughout the whole movement, applying pressure up. If I were to be loose here, you would see that bar kind of wave or my elbows bend, and we don't want that. We want that lockout, that solid position as we enter the bottom of the lift. Again, here's the heaving version. We're gonna bend, snap, finish. See that momentum? See how it's a little extra fire up under the bar? That's a good timing drill. It's a good way for us to look at pulling under for the snatch, extending those hips, snapping under the bar and locking out. All right, last side from the side this time. We're gonna look here at my chest position. See how my chest is tall, head is up. That's gonna follow through. That was a poor position of my head there. Chest stayed tall, but my head kind of dipped down. We want to keep that head up, chin up, eyes on the wall in front of you. See, there we go. Better position, my head's up, my chest is tall, I'm sitting between my ankles, not pressing my knees too far forward, and finishing with that good hard locked position, as we see there, one more time. So, snatch balance. This is an awesome movement. It is tough. So here you see, I did 4 at a time. That's not a super heavy weight, that's 65 kilos, so about 135 pounds-ish. When we do this in Dogtown, we typically are somewhere in the ballpark of 80% for 2 of our snatch max, or even more if it's appropriate for the training block that we're in. But in CrossFit, you're gonna be learning how to proficiently, or movement class, you're You're gonna be learning how to proficiently utilize the snatch balance to time that descent and lockout. So when we're doing the snatch, one of the things I see a lot of times with beginners that have a tough time with is getting under the bar. Once we figured out that position, that under the bar position, it's finishing. I've got a couple of athletes right now who have major potential with heavier barbells. However, we do get caught up with not being able to lock this bar out overhead. So how do we fix that? We utilize things like the snatch balance to explore that timing and that punch, that lock, elbows out, not allowing the bar to bend. I don't want my elbows to snap at all. I want that drive, flat shoulders, drive the elbows up, and finish that bar out overhead. Anytime I have any kind of release, any release in my back, any release in my elbow, that is major. This right here would constitute a no lifting competition, but however, if I'm just in training and I feel this bar waving, that means I am not applying the pressure needed to finish this lift off. So make sure whenever I use snap, punch. Do not let that bar move. Do not let this elbow collapse at all. Fire that elbow out, locking it up, and continue that upward pressure on the bar all the way into your squat. Never allow your elbows to bend. If we do perform some heaving snatch balances, working that timing in that hip, do not abandon that extension to get under the bar. So just like in the snatch, we want to finish that pull, full extension before we snap under. Same with the snatch balance. We get that dip, drive up, full extension, snap. Finish over the bar overhead. Again, we want to apply that pressure up, brace your core, and settle into that squat. Work your timing, work on your ability to pressure the bar through the ceiling. Don't allow any relaxation in the body. If your back's not sore when you're done performing the snatch balance, you didn't try hard enough. So, that's it for me today. Be prepared for the snatch balance this week in training. If you are interested in more of our videos, interested in more of what we got going on here at Align Movement or Dogtown Barbell, give us a like and subscribe to stay up to date. Follow us on Instagram at Dogtown Barbell, at Align_movement, and we will put out more content for you to make you a better athlete and lifter regularly. All right, see you, have a good week.